Hey everybody, just give me a few minutes and um, I will be right here in just a moment. I had some chit chatting to do here. Um, Mail like that. We are setting up to set up a couple things there. Pardon me for the blatant disrespect, acting like you weren't sitting there while I was picking around in my stuff. So, how you all doing? I forgot to change my shirt, having a polo from work, and I don't want you all bothering my employer if I say something you don't like. What's going on, Minister Jason? How you doing, sir? Pray that all is well with you and the family. Before I get started, I want to talk about something real quick. A friend of mine, you can find him on Facebook. His name is Tony D. His son, TJ, brilliant young man. I don't know if you can see his picture, but TJ has is marketing a brand of sports related uh, incense, and the scents are absolutely amazing. Um, I have one, and y'all know I don't LeBron. I don't LeBron at all. Um, and with him being with my Lakers, I feel bad for calling them my Lakers because I don't even watch them anymore. Um, but it just I haven't watched much basketball at all. Period. So, but he has one called LB. He is a LeBron James. When I tell you this thing smells fantastic, and like I said, young black entrepreneur. The family is entrepreneurial, but this young man, he's got a customer as long as he's doing business because y'all know I love a good scent. And these smell absolutely fantastic. So I don't know if you are an incense user. I'm not like, religiously trying to smoke no spirits out of my house or nothing like that. I just like a good scent. We're burning no sage and doing no witchcraft, none of that. But I do love a good fresh scent, and this smells wonderful. So if you are a incense lover, check out Tony D on Facebook. His son TJ. Actually TJ set up a group. It's called TJ's Sense. But I love supporting young entrepreneurs. Hopefully one day I'll get a chance to have him on just to talk about his products and tell us a little bit about himself. Because there's a few young entrepreneurs that are a part of what I do. I'll actually put a link to the group in. I'll put the name of the group. And I don't think it'll let me put a link to the group. didn't. Okay. But I'll go back and add it to the comments if I happen to have um, any incense lovers like myself. I am definitely, but such a fan. There is the other one I have is Steph Curry. This smells good. I'm so sad that the LeBron James is like my favorite. I'm so sad that the LeBron James is my favorite, but we got an alert about some new scents he's working on. Look, I'm trying to cover up this patch. Y'all all know I work for the state of Missouri, but I don't want anybody to think I'm representing the state of Missouri right now. And I ain't going upstairs to change my shirt, so there. But what's going on, Prophetess Sonia? Good to see you. So, but yeah, his name is the name of the company is TJ Scents. They're absolutely great. The first scent that I tried, I'm gonna get the name of that one too, because I believe that it was because I just wanted to try at the time. I just wanted to try all of the different scents that he had. So the other player I am not familiar with. I'm not familiar with the other player, but when I tell you, it was really good. Let me see if I can find the name of the other player. Hold on. It's one of the female players. Initials are TC. That thing smells wonderful as well, but I'm really sad these LeBron Jameses. Yeah, these LeBron Jameses are out of sight. I'm actually using StreamYard to get to Facebook. So I'm on both. But and I sent you a link if you want to jump on. But yeah, these things smell really, really great. I heard he's working on a scent called Game 7. And I don't know about you, but that just sounded like something that needs to be had. So but yeah, I'll keep you all up to date on him. I've got another really good young entrepreneur, and she happens to be my cousin, so I love to talk about her. Her name is Mackenzie. I believe she's on Facebook as well, and we get out. She's on Facebook as well, and I purchased my chocolate covered strawberries for the holidays from her, and they were fantastical. And so, but I'm going to start doing that if I can. Is just doing some spotlights on some of our young entrepreneurs because this generation, they are game-changing entrepreneurs. My nephew Trey, extraordinary work he does. We'll. He's too high, so he may not come on and talk to me. But I will share his specifics so that you all can know about him and support him. I love this generation that they will go get it. They are not afraid to step out and use their talent, not just in the kingdom, but to make a living. And it's a blessing. It's a blessing. I think it is a timely. It's a timely thing. So, but
yes, it is.
It is super good. But yeah, they're called TJ Sport Scents. They smell fantastic. I think I got like 9. No, I think I got 10. I spent $10, and anything that I can support that keeps me out of some of these community stores that I'm praying shut. Um, I'm for it. Because,
I
you
like
go buy those incense at the gas station and you have to filter
yeah,
through
I like scents.
all those little filthy ones that they have. And it's like, no, I don't want the black love incense. Thank you very much. I wouldn't.
No, I need
Yeah,
to
I
look
just
into
want
that.
something fresh.
I
Yeah.
need to look into that because I like scents in my house, so I need to look into that.
These are really, really good. And yeah, I think they were like 4 for 3, 10 for. I don't want to misrepresent his pricing. I'll just put the link in here and just let you all know it is well worth it. I always get a good at least an hour burn out of it. It's wonderful, but these young folks are not. They ain't playing out here. They are ready.
I'm ready to go.
Yeah. So, but yeah. So what's been going on with you, sis? How you doing?
Girl, sleepy, tired, but all has been well.
Yeah. There was
Long weekend, but all has been well.
yes. Um, there was a news story that came out,
Uh-uh.
and
No.
it made me. I was reading it. I went in to read it because I find Pope friendly. Pope Francis. I really like him. Um, and he will make a decree and
In a minute.
in a minute. But I want to show you all a story that was reported by Reuters, and I
Uh-uh.
was reading it, and it made me. At first I read
Mm-mm.
as a female, as a woman in ministry, it made me laugh.
Oh Lord.
I'm just let me,
Mm-mm. You gotta
and
share.
maybe you all will be as uh maybe your eye will cock the way mine will. Now the Catholic Church doesn't ordain women.
No.
What's interesting to me was this story here. And what intrigued me about it was it talked about the Pope revising church law and updating the rules on sexual abuse. And I was like, that's awesome. That's really good because that's one of the major things you hear is so
Right.
much known about what these people have been doing and nothing's been done. And he's actually going in and making structural, cultural change. That's
Right.
fantastic. But the list
Right.
of he outlawed was interesting to me. It said Pope Francis issued the most extensive revision to Catholic Church law in 4 decades on Tuesday, insisting that bishops take action against clerics who abuse minors. That's awesome. And vulnerable adults. That's awesome. Commit fraud or attempt to ordain women. And I was like, wait, hold on. How we get lumped in?
Woo!
I mean, I get it. You don't want them ordaining women. But
He
it,
said,
it just
you will not ordain women. You will not do
yeah,
that.
it just felt so weird to me because
Wow.
and here's the
Mm.
part that it was really interesting, because it says, okay, the revision, which has been in the works since 2009, so apparently they've been trying to work on this for quite some time. Pope John Paul II hasn't been updated like this since 1983. Doesn't actually go into effect until December 8th. It also introduces some new categories, has more specific language in it to give bishops less, wiggle room to play around with stuff, which is a good thing, I think. In a separate accompanying document, the Pope reminds bishops that they are responsible for following the letter of the law. Il Papa has spoken. One revision, Francis said, was to reduce the number of cases in which the imposition of a penalty was left to the discretion of authorities. And so it sounds like the rules are intended to take it out of local hands where you're going to be
Yeah.
lenient somebody that you like, or that what they
Mhm.
hasn't been, made that big a deal or whatever the case may be. Sexual abuse of minors was put under a new section titled Offenses Against Human Life, Dignity, and Liberty. See the new
So
section,
what did he put the women under?
such as grooming of minors or vulnerable adults for sexual includes. Now, this is where it got it. I got a bit of an attitude. It includes the possible defrocking of clerics who use threats or abuse of his authority to force someone to have sexual relations. That's that's good. It's possible.
Possible?
It's possible that you might get defrocked. Where I got a tiny bit confused was while the church has historically prohibited the ordination of women and the ban has been reaffirmed by popes, the 83 code says only in one other section that priestly ordination was reserved for a baptized male. The revised code specifically warns that both the person who attempts to confer ordination on a woman and the woman herself incur automatic excommunication and the cleric risks being defrocked.
Are you going to excommunicate somebody from the church?
Look, you ordained this woman. Now, look, you try to coerce this woman into a relationship with you, and we're going to consider defrocking you.
But if you ordain her, we're going to excommunicate you.
That same woman. And don't try to harass her, but you try to ordain her, both of you. Yes.
Wow.
And it just and I believe in I believe in, if that's your interpretation of scripture and that's what you believe, do what you do. It was just weird to me that for a sexual abuser, maybe we'll put you away forever.
Maybe.
But if you're trying to ordain these women, we're definitely going to deal with you.
We definitely going to get rid of you. You definitely got to go. Not just you, but you and her got to go.
Everybody got, both of you. Both of you got to go. And there's a part of me that understands, because I know that there are many Christian denominations that don't believe in ordaining women. And when women do speak, they're not even permitted in the pulpit. And, if women are speaking on Women's Day, their programs are held, you speaking from the floor, there's a podium, and you'll speak from the podium on the floor. And if that's the rules in your church, then those are the rules in your church. If that's your interpretation of scripture, Bishop, work it. Because you shouldn't disobey what you believe the scriptures say. And then I'm extra curious for those who decide they're going to force them to become something that they did. I'm not a fan of trying to force churches to change. Right. If that's what you believe, then that's what you believe. I'm going to choose fellowship with you because I don't believe that. But we're in a culture now where people are determined to make the scriptures say things that they don't, and make the church be okay with things that scripture prohibits. And so when I read the story, my first inclination was, are you serious? Because I was bothered by the difference in consequences. And then I thought about it, but if I'm a woman who believes I'm called to be a priest, if I believe the Lord called me, I'm going to have to leave the church anyway to go do what the Lord told me to do.
Yeah, because I can't do it there.
If I can't do it there, I've got to be obedient to what it is that I believe the Lord has called for me to do. And so it's really interesting to me because I wonder if there are women there who want to be priests and believe that they're called to do a thing, but they're out of obedience to the word of the Pope. They're sitting on that gift and because, and I know you come from a little bit of a different background for me, church wise. Were you in a denomination where women weren't ordained? Because you're Church of God, right? Or are you apostolic faith? What?
Apostolic Pentecostal Assemblies of the World. Nah, we got nah. They ordained women, so nah.
Yeah.
They did that. So that was not them.
Right.
Ordained women. So, but my daddy didn't though. My daddy went to a Baptist church, and the Baptist church they didn't.
Right.
So,
we grew up. You know, my background. I'm a bit of a mutt. I've been in church pretty much my whole life, but we've been everywhere. And but my initial responded to salvation and all that was in Baptist church, and the Baptist church didn't ordain women. I think still may not. I don't know. And there's a couple of heartbreaking experiences that I see, because right now my grandmother has a really good friend who, I mean, dynamite preacher. My gosh, fire brand.
Wow.
I believe at one time she had, just stepped out on faith to go start a ministry and pastor. And she's now, returned back into the traditional Baptist church. And she's definitely has an anointing, definitely has a gift, but is not functioning in it in any way. Yeah, look at all this smoke from TJ's.
I know. I was looking at
that. The house is not on fire.
I'm looking at that.
Yeah, and then I have another friend who she got an opportunity to speak at a program, and she's actually a former coworker of ours. I won't name her, but she talked about there was a time when she got an opportunity to teach. She's a Sunday school teacher, dynamite Sunday school teacher. And she got an opportunity to speak, and she felt, she had really done what it was she was assigned to do that day. And, she was thinking about seminary. She just had a lot of things that she was thinking about after that. And one of the ministers called her to kind of congratulate her with one hand and smack her with the other one. And, he let her know she had done a dynamite job. He said, but man, I would have really enjoyed that more if it had come from a man. And I'm like, oh.
What? Wow.
Because he said, yeah, preaching just it's not ladylike. And if you know this woman, she's an extremely feminine, straight-laced, salt of the earth, beautiful woman. But he literally called her specifically to let her know he enjoyed her message, but he'd have loved it so much better if it had come from a man. And I thought, you couldn't just say that at your house? But it did what it was intended to do. And she's never stood in a pulpit since then. And she's years old. And I'm like, wow, that's wild. And so have you ever encountered situations where you meet women who it's clear they have that call to preach the word, but they're simply not doing it out of obedience for, a particular calling? Because what I find a lot of times is women will become sometimes kind of laid back a lot of times. And I've seen instances where you'll have like a husband and wife team sometimes, and you'll see, especially if it's a denomination where where women are not ordained, the wife will kind of lay back and not really give what she has to offer simply because of tradition. And I don't know. Have you seen a lot of that?
Not really, because in the PAW, I mean, it's rampant. You got men and women. So I've never really seen that unless it was that the husband and that was the reason why, but not because it was anything that the PAW did. But all the ones that I know and grew up around, No, they just, God called them. And to be honest, in our church in St. Louis, things have changed now. But when I was growing up, we had more women that was in the ministry than men. Always more women than men. And our church had more ministers and children than we had anybody else. But things have changed now, so I don't know what the ratio is, but it was always more women than men in our ministry.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. When I saw that news story, it really did trigger me in a way to really just think about some things and just have some remembrances. And I know that I will never forget a situation with my grandmother and my granddad. My granddad was a pastor until maybe a month or two before he passed, and he was well over 90 years old. And so he's old school traditional, like traditional, super traditional. In those instances, many times, women can be missionaries, women can be evangelists, but you're not going to call them, minister. They're definitely not going to be pastoring or anything like that. And my grandmother at the time, she's always been a powerful evangelist, just powerful. She wears many mantles, but she always has had just the people are drawn to the Christ in her, and she's always been community minded. And so we had made some friends that started a church walking distance from the house, literally about a block or two away. And my grandmother, who was always, strong Black woman, but she honored the word of her husband. And I'll never forget that day. She came in and she got dressed. She had put on her white church dress, and she was getting ready to go. Had, her little curls done and all that, and she was going because they were having a special event on this Sunday afternoon. And she went and she got dressed, and everything was wonderful. Hold on one second. A minister coming back. And she got dressed, and everything was wonderful. So she came down, I mean, sharp. She was Holy Ghost girl, sharp. White, had her little pressing curl going. It was hot. I remember it was a very hot day, but she had her church mother dress, the white one with the pleats.
Yes.
And the sheer sleeves. She was serving.
She was ready to go
that day. And she came down the stairs. She made it to maybe about the third step. And my granddad, who was sat here, watched her get dressed. He watched her get dressed. He watched her get ready. And he sat down in that front room. And she came down the stairs. And he said, Mother Lightner, where are you going? She said, I was just going to run down here to Reverend Mister's. They had a Sunday evening service, and we're going. He said, you didn't ask me if you could go anywhere. And she said, well, really, I'm just going to church. And he said, no, you're not.
Ooh.
Now, you know my grandmother. She blew my mind. She turned around and went right back upstairs and changed her clothes. Didn't say a word. Put her little house coat on and came back down here and sat down. It blew me away.
She ain't say nothing.
I let him have it in my head.
She didn't say nothing. Ooh.
Nothing. And it blew me. It blew me away because I didn't.
Wow.
I didn't understand anything about submission and all that. I didn't understand none of that stuff. And so I'm like, she trying to go to church. You serious?
Your
again.
man would have got an earful from me.
Yeah, she trying to go to church again. For real? Who was
Again.
that? She finally, maybe about a year or so ago, told us what happened, and she said because she teaches, honor your husband. She teaches that, and she told us what happened was later on. She told him, she said, I did what you told me to do today. I didn't buck you. I didn't fight you. I didn't complain. I didn't argue. But next Sunday, we're going, and you're going with me. And that next Sunday, sure enough, the two of them hippity hopped on down the street and was with the misters for many, many years. Many, many years. But saying all
Mm.
that, hey, I understand submitting. From her, I understand, submission in marriage and submitting even in ministry because, and I think I know those are cuss words out here in ministry and in marriage. That whole, honoring what your covering had to say. And the crazy part about it is he was right because she didn't know who she might encounter down there. People don't
So,
always respect you as a woman who shows up. What's going on,
right.
Pastor Demetrius? Um, People don't always respect you. You come in single, cute, got your little white dress on.
Yep.
We think you're going, but what you're not gonna do today is go down here because what we're not gonna have is no problems. And
None of that.
right, but her submission to what he asked her to do, told her to do actually, positioned them to open up into a beautiful relationship. She could have fought him and turned that into a problem. And so my concern, my confusion over that story about how harshly they were going to deal with people for ordaining women doesn't come from a place of you got to submit to nobody. You grown and you got to call an anointing on your life and you can do what you. I'm never in that place. Never ever in that place. But it was just weird to me to see ordaining women lined up next to child molesters.
Well, I'm trying to figure that out. How did we get there?
I'm like, this is a weird list of things. But
how we get there? How do we get to that point?
Yeah, it was just it was really weird to me. I thought it was really strange, but such is life. So the law has been ordained as of December 8th.
Well, I guess y'all better not ordain them. Y'all better not do whatever the man said. Don't do it, because you're gonna get excommunicated.
You and her, both of you.
Yeah. Y'all gonna get excommunicated. Y'all gonna be out. Y'all gonna be out of church.
Look, both of you out of here. But
you're gonna be out of church.
Yeah, so that was one of the weird stories that I saw this week. That was interesting to me. I think I have lost again. Okay. So the other thing that I found interesting, because I don't really watch a lot of news, local or national, anymore. I'm just kind of fed up with how, things are being sold to us. I know, right? Yes.
Yes. Nephew.
Yo.
Yes.
What's happening, y'all?
Hey, son, I just want to give you a heads up. Don't try ordaining no women over at the church. Just to catch you up.
I'll stay away from the whole list of things. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, just try not. Well, now here's the thing. Now you can abuse a kid or
No.
coerce a woman, and maybe something might happen. But there may be grace for you.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Dang.
You ordain that woman.
Right. That's just a step too far. Yeah.
It's too far. You
We
gonna
gotta
get
have boundaries somewhere. Yeah.
look. You might as well go ahead and take yourself over there and just be one of them pagan Baptists. Doggone it.
Right.
You have gone beyond your reach.
Go over there and be one of those Pentecostals because they'll ordain anybody.
Can't ordain nobody over here.
Look, what is going on? But I pulled out a shirt because I wanted to change my shirt because I don't want my employer seal out here.
Mhm.
It's another
Yeah, you
shirt.
don't want to.
Right.
Yeah. So look, we're just gonna do this. How about that? I feel better already.
Right.
This is my throw.
Right.
Let's do that. Yeah. I'm looking like
I only wear my shirt for them on Fridays. That's the only time I wear my shirts. It's on Friday.
well, if I had to think about attire today, I wouldn't have went. So look. It was a deal breaker. It's
Woo!
Steph.
Yeah, well, I you know what? Yeah, it took
Yeah.
much prayer.
Mhm.
Today this week it is taking much prayer. The
Yes,
last 2
indeed.
days to make
Yeah.
it in, it's just taking
Yeah.
much prayer.
Yes, indeed. Yes,
Then I
indeed.
sit down at the desk and it's more prayer. I'm like, yeah, Lord, I'm gonna need you to help me.
It was interesting because I remember you sharing something a while back about an inconsiderate coworker doing some things at their desk.
Oh,
Was
oh. Now they
But-
bring in loud children that you hear all across the floor. They do that now, and it's like, ooh, let me turn up the volume on my stuff so I don't have to hear this loud child. And I'm like, yeah, I can't bring my child because yeah, he a young man now. He 18, so I cannot bring him. But boy, I wish he was still little, so I could just bring him up there so he could do the same thing. I mean, child just loud.
Troy would be out there regulating traffic. Child.
Right.
What sense does it make for you to make all this noise?
Right.
There wouldn't be
That is the
too
truth.
quiet if you brought Trey.
That is the truth. That is the truth. That is the truth.
Yeah, I don't understand what's all
That
this
is
noise. What?
She has went to new heights though, because the text that I sent you about the people and the coffee,
Mhm.
that be her percolating.
There you
I'm
go.
like, so you just waiting for OA to come in here and tell y'all again about these extra appliances at your desk.
Yeah.
We already in a raggedy building with asbestos and all other stuff, and then you gonna decide that you should bring in a coffee pot. You know we don't have lights on the floor, right? Half our floor don't have lights now on our side.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm just saying, you over there percolating coffee.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
So you know, it's been rough. It's been rough with these last 2 days. I was like,
I know sometimes
Yeah,
I used to have a cussing coworker who
and one of them too.
every day she used to I got to the place where I think I went through just every emotion you could possibly have because every day she and her husband, well at the time he was her fiance, the same conversation every day. Every day. Hey, you know the bus is coming. You ain't out there. You ain't even looking out the door. You ain't even out there saying, boy, you better go out there and get my bleepity bleeping child. every day.
That's great.
And it got to the place where every day, hold on, let me call and check on my daughter. Every day, I'm like, Lord, let this man be at this bus stop. I don't understand why he answers the phone, or two, why he's not already at the bus stop when he answers the phone, because this woman is going down. And every single day,
He is not at that bus stop.
And finally, it just got to the place where I'm like, you know what? You've earned it. Whatever she says to you, when you answer the phone, you earned it, because you know the only reason she's calling you is to make sure you have this child in your possession.
Right.
And you don't.
Get the bus run late, have to send somebody else to go get the child. It was just, I have never been happier. And I used to sit next to a coworker that had Tourette's. He didn't bother me. This right here, oh gosh, it was just insane.
That's my thing. Her stuff is just insane. It's insane. No matter, like, she was on the phone, and I guess they were still in. I'm gathering that there's maybe by now they're not in the hotel anymore. I don't know, but she was fussing at the people about the man that was supposed to come, and whatever he was supposed to do, he didn't do it. And she just getting loud, and she just, and I'm sitting over at my desk. I'm like, look, send somebody else to that house to do whatever it is that man did not do, that he didn't show up for, because I'm sick of hearing her over here talking about, well, I'm not trying to be mean or nasty about it. Yes, you are, because you mean and nasty with the elderly lady. That's our receptionist. So I know that you're trying to be mean and nasty. I know this. I know you are. And I'm like, and the lady on the phone, she's trying to talk, she's cutting the lady off, and it's like, could you just shut up and let the lady answer the question, please? Please. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, why don't y'all just build her a brand new house? Buy her a new house. I don't care what you do something. So I don't have to listen to her no more.
Right.
And in my mind today, I'm trying to figure out, okay, well, the new girl, she gonna be working in a different office in a different location. Maybe I need to ask her, and then ask our manager, hey, can I swap cubicles and go over on the other side of the building with the IT people that ain't never at that desk? And she can be over here because she ain't gonna come in but once or twice a month. Then I don't have to be nowhere near the crazy girl. I really have been trying to figure that out in my head. I just ain't got permission from the Lord to do it. But I'm telling you, I'm trying to get away from her.
Co-workers co-workers can be extreme. I don't know if you remember back in the day, the lady that used to warm up her fish plates. She had fish every day, I think.
Yes, she did.
And we would come in there and warm that fish up every day.
Jesus Christ.
Just think, oh God, it was horrible.
Like, why are you doing this to us? Why do you hate us so much?
You know, we had so many funny co-workers. You got the one with the fish, the person that was stealing people's lunch, that didn't steal lunch no more after the laxatives got put in the lunch. Yes. And what would get me was they started stealing Roger's lunches. And you know, Roger was bringing the leftover from Sunday dinner. So he had like the greens and the cornbread and the macaroni and cheese and the chicken. And that first day when they stole it, I had never heard Roger cuss. That man started cussing. I was like, and you know, he real short too. Woo! That person was all kind of words that I had never heard him say.
Yes.
And then
I remember that.
Yes.
Well,
we had that book, not Pat, whatever the lady name was. She was selling the pork skin rinds. We had it going on, Linda. I don't care what nobody say. We had it going on.
It was a Arabian bazaar. It was. You could buy anything.
Wait, then we had people running from the feds before they coming up on the elevator. They going down the back stairs, out the front door.
Like that scene in The Matrix. Yeah.
Just like that.
Just like that.
We're laughing, but just like that.
Just like that.
Somebody gave her a heads up that they were in the building.
Mm.
She grabbed her stuff from off her desk, personal item, her purse, and went down this fire exit that I don't even know where it led, and took off. And I don't think anybody's heard from her since.
No, she called back the next day to tell my manager she quit.
She just went off the grid from that point on. She lives in a van out in Wyoming.
Right.
I guess I don't know what she did, but all I know was she was gone. I said, wait, where'd she go? They
Yes.
down and they came up. I was rolling. I was like, we just get all kinds of people at the state. We just get all kinds of people.
Yes.
I thought I had it bad with this last coworker.
Huh?
I thought I had it bad with this last coworker. She liked to randomly throughout the day start singing R&B tunes. So she would just randomly bust in like Frankie Beverly, and she had her Bluetooth speaker, so she would have that playing real low, and then she would just be singing. And it's like, you hear us all doing work, like just you could just hold off a little bit. You know, you don't have to be playing this loud.
Look. I confess. I confess. I warn the people who sit near me now that I've gotten old and senile. I randomly break into song. Don't be concerned, but it goes down.
Well, no, 'cause it's okay if it's a one-off. Okay, that's cool. Like if it happens every once in a while, but when I can clock it from the hours of 2 to 4:30. That you just gonna be singing through that time and eating ramen noodles, like that's like, come on, something got to switch up. This ain't the way.
This ain't eating ramen noodles instead.
She had her little cup of ramen that she had every day.
Look. You don't know her story. You don't know what it's get to 4 o'clock. Look.
You don't know what I'm still trying to figure out when I was crying. I haven't figured that out. I haven't figured it out yet. I haven't figured it out
either. So I'm just saying.
I haven't figured it out. I've really been trying. I'm like, she said I was crying. I was trying. I see she could not left, and she just left. Yeah, my kid texted me saying his last final exam of high school was over. He needed to be picked up. Yeah, I left. You know they don't do school buses at his school, so I was like, Lord, where was I? So the lady said, well, maybe you were singing. No, I wasn't singing. I was listening to the word. Wasn't no singing going on. I was listening to the word, so there was no sound. Okay.
Wow. Look, you had not accustomed to black tears.
I guess.
I
guess so. If I'm crying, you gonna know when I'm crying. She can't, is your nephew all right? Yeah, he's fine. He healed. He all right. We just waiting on God to give his eyesight back in his left eye. He is fine. I know he's fine. He cracked jokes the whole time Saturday, so he is a heathen. He all right. He a heathen. God, child, just heathens, both of them heathens. So he fine. I'm like,
yeah.
We have all kind of funny people at the state. Yeah. Just all kind of funny people.
Speaking of heathens,
who a heathen now?
That's a lead in, yeah.
Oh Lord, where are we going with this one?
Here we go.
Oh no. What have you found? What have you found?
Murder cop Derek Chauvin begs for light sentence, citing broken.
That's a joke, right?
Of course, yeah.
No, he says he's requested a judge reduce his sentence to time served or probation. This is the motion that his attorneys filed on Wednesday. Mr. Chauvin asked the court to look beyond its findings to his background. Yes, ignore the bodies. Lack of criminal history. Nobody would prosecute him. His amenability to probation, to the unusual facts of this case, and to his being a product of a broken system.
So he murdered somebody. So that's an unusual. Those are unusual facts because he murdered somebody, and it's a broken system because he murdered somebody, and then he almost murdered a 14-year-old. Okay.
Well, I was gonna say the broken part of this isn't the first time he's done something like this. Like this, right. I think this might be the actual, first time he murdered somebody, and in 4K. But like, he's done this multiple times already. Like that, the part of it that's broken is that it ever got to this point.
Right. Exactly. The broken the part that confuses not understanding that you, sir, are what is broken in the system.
You, sir, are the problem.
And so apparently we just don't understand, because Chauvin's lawyers emphasize Chauvin's hardworking, law-abiding life and attempt to minimize his killing of Floyd, calling it an error made in good faith reliance on his experience as a police officer.
So it was good faith that told you to kill to murder that man. It was good faith that told you to lean and press your knee in and get even more comfortable on his neck. Okay.
Look, let me get him off my screen. Clearly, you just don't understand.
Right.
Now, the process for 30 years.
Okay.
But he said, look, probation and time served should be enough. And I'm not surprised, because the look on his face when they convicted him,
he was in total shock.
Oh, right. Yeah, exactly.
He was confused from that moment. He looked like, hold on, wait, but I'm a cop.
Right. It's like, no, I did a good thing, right? I was
right. Yeah, hold on, wait a minute. That's not how you say not guilty. That's not, you left off a word, ma'am.
Right. Is that not guilty in Spanish? What is that's
right.
Not yeah.
But the killing thing about it is the judge that went back in and decided that the other stuff should be added as a choice for him when it comes time to sentence him. So I'm like, whatever that is right there. Okay, but it was the judge that went behind the prosecutor and said, and now we need to add this in here as another choice for sentencing. So I don't think whatever you just said, I don't think that's gonna work for you, but you're welcome to try it. I don't blame you, dude. Go all out. They done raised a whole bunch of money for you, so make the little people work for the little money that they raised. Wow.
Right.
He's a part of a broken system. Oh,
a part of a broken system.
That's the thing, is like it's entirely right, but it's just the wrong person to say it. Like, because I don't know if you got around to talking about the Naomi Oscar.
Yeah, that's next
thing, but like it's the same. It's the exact opposite of that, where it's like Naomi is the perfect person to say it, or it's the right thing to say, and it's the perfect person to say it. Whereas this is, yeah, you're right, the system is broken. You're the wrong person to talk about that, though. Like, as somebody that's like around because of it, or that survived this long because of that,
Yeah.
you're not the person to talk about that. That's not your place to even talk about that.
Foolishness.
Absolute insanity. Absolute insanity. But yeah, the Naomi Osaka story is
What's that? I didn't hear that. I don't watch the news now that much at all. I get up in the morning and the weather, and that's just about it of me really paying attention.
Well, Naomi Osaka is a young tennis player who
the tennis player. Okay.
Yeah, my first introduction to her was the year she beat Serena in Wimbledon.
It's her. Okay.
Yeah, US Open.
Okay, I remember that.
And she, yeah, and she, and I mean, she's a beast. She is fantastic at what she does. But she recently just started opening up about some challenges that she was having with anxiety and depression. That she's been battling depression for a while. She's had some bouts with depression, but also dealing with the press, her anxiety. And so at one event, she took like a $15,000 fine because she chose to not deal with the media. And so for the next event, she just totally withdrew.
Well, there was added stuff into that because they were talking about disqualifying her from the entire tournament because she wasn't going to talk to the press.
Yeah. And today I've heard so much discussion about, how, well, it's not fair to the other players if they have to talk to the media and she doesn't, that it creates an unfair advantage for her. And, really, I've never seen, I take it back. I think I have seen it where people are being just taken through the ringer for being concerned about their mental health. Mm-hmm. It's amazing to me that you can be penalized for taking care of your mental health. Because it's all bothered me. And I mean, I understand that it's a part of the game, but sports, it's really like, I hate that I lose a monumental game and moments later I've got to come out and be eloquent with the press.
Yeah.
I've got to come out and be able to just wax poetic and say something meaningful other than, man, we just lost this game. I don't feel like talking to you. I definitely believe I'd have probably been a Marshawn Lynch. I'm just here so I don't get fined. I'm here so I don't get fined. I think that would be my position.
Yeah, and they got mad at that. They got mad at that. I'm like, you can't be mad at him for saying that. He's telling you the truth. I'm only talking to you because I don't want to lose no money on my pay.
Yeah. And
I was mad about this though when I heard about it. This is what I heard as I was leaving out the house today, and I was very upset. I said, so again, people's mental health mean nothing. She's just a meal ticket to you all. She's a piece of property in a sense, because you are so concerned about her not talking to the media, and she's telling you, hey, I got some mental stuff going on. Yeah. I don't blame her. My sanity is more important than anything you're talking about. Because if something happens to me and my sanity, you're gonna put the next person up to play in my spot and keep it moving.
Yeah. And it's interesting to me though, because it's another example of how different
Blair Elwood is getting a
young people. That it's how different the young people of this generation are, because for so many years, Black athletes, for the sake of representing the community, have just kind of had to just make it work. Mm-hmm. You know, I remember the movie Jackie Robinson. Shout out
Mhm.
Chadwick Boseman. But you know, his hair coming out and throwing, vomiting, and being so just
Mhm.
being ill because of the pressures of doing that.
Yep.
And I love that we're at a place where these athletes can be shot callers. I hope that they don't, you know, disqualify her from all of the tournaments. But I loved her statement, and especially the way that she closed it out. She said, I announced it preemptively because I do feel like the rules are quite outdated in parts, and I wanted to highlight that. I wrote privately to the tournament apologizing and saying that I would be more than happy to speak with them after the tournament as the slams are intense. I'm going to take some time away from the court now, but when the time is right, I really want to work with the tour to discuss ways we can make things better for the players, press, and fans. Anyways, hope you all are doing well and staying safe. Love you guys. I'll see you when I see you. Heart emoji. I love that because what I heard Lil Sis say is y'all can continue to talk about it amongst yourselves,
Right.
but I'll see y'all later.
I see you when I see you. I'm not changing my mind.
It was the most polite. I said what I said
And I meant what I said.
that I've read in a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
Very well done. Very well done.
It's so appreciated, but I really do love that, you know, our athletes are having agency to be able to speak their minds and hopefully not suffer consequences because of it, you know, not suffer severe consequences. And again, as I talked about at the very beginning, you all know I don't LeBron, but when that woman said he needed to just dribble and shut up, just play,
Ooh,
it did something to me. It did something to me because
yeah, that bothered me too.
how you if it was the most nigga chop that hay in the cotton that I had heard said out loud. I'm like, did she know the cameras are rolling? Was she there?
No shame.
Right.
No
We can all hear
shame.
you. Yeah.
Yeah,
No
because
shame. But that's that
see
white
it.
privilege.
Yeah,
That's that
I
white
didn't see
privilege.
it live. Right, I didn't see it live, and so I'm like, was she off camera and didn't realize her mic was hot? What?
No,
And to
no,
see
she's
the
right on camera.
it's just part of her, her speech, and she sat there flat-footed and felt perfectly comfortable talking to this grown man like he was a child. And
Well,
go ahead, son. I'm sorry.
no. Well, I was just gonna say there's something about black athletes talking that just sets people off in a different way, and I don't know
Mm-hmm.
what necessarily it is. Like, I think we sort of like uh, make them out to be kids, regardless of how old they are, just because they play a game for a living.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like we sort of forget that there are also people who study just as much as the rest of us, or can do the work the same way the rest of us do.
Yep.
And them them being famous for playing the game doesn't make them really that much different.
Yep. It's I call it what Sonia called it that privilege of being able to say, you know, we barely tolerate the poor and huddled masses out here talking revolution. You've made it.
Right.
You've got money. What are you complaining about? And it's like, no, those have always been our spokespeople.
Mm-hmm.
And there's such a disdain for how young black people are behaving. You know, just even in regular settings, you know, things that managers used to be able to say to people at work, you're not gonna run that game on this young set.
Yeah. I mean, that is the difference. That is the difference. You know that. You know, shut up, sit down. You just gonna take what I say.
Mm-hmm.
These kids, they are of a different stock. They're different. So that stuff that you said to them, they not gonna put up with that. they just not gonna take that.
Yep.
You know, they are not gonna take it. Just like the cop that got at Jane at LeBron for what he said. Now, granted, I personally don't think he said anything that was out of place. I understood what he meant, and what he said was, "You're gonna be the next cop that's gonna get in trouble for what you did to that young lady." However, all of y'all other people took it all into some other kind of way. I still don't understand how you got there, but what I do understand is that police department understand what bread and butter is and what kind of power that young man has. Because why? Now you ain't got a job because of your little smart remark back to him. When you should have just shut up and kept it moving. Now you don't have a job. But now he gonna write. He said he gonna write. He's writing a book about it all. I said, "Oh, you gonna write a book? Okay. Well, I need to write a book too.
Right.
I need to write a book. Let me write a book. Let me write a book." I was like, I mean, you know, they seem to think that they privileged to say, you know, just whatever they want to say and do whatever they want to do. And granted, you know, the cop is right. We need to stop killing each other. You know, like the foolishness in Miami. You looking for one person, but you gonna shoot up a whole crowd of folks. You don't even know if the person that you looking for is outside. They can still be inside, but you decide, well, it don't matter. You gonna. Okay, so now you've done that. You done killed 2 people, injured all these other people, and you don't even know the person that you're looking for if you even got that person at all. So yeah, we do. We need to do better about caring for our lives too. However, in my opinion, that still does not give you the right to think that our lives are expendable just because.
Right. Well, the issue is those are 2 completely different conversations. Like they don't interplay or they shouldn't interplay with each other at all. Like that's because one is just a morality thing. Like that's people need to not kill other people. Like, or you know, as much as possible. Like, you know, you shouldn't be killing other people. It just shouldn't be a thing. That's a morality thing more than a like black people got to stop killing black people thing, because that's, you know, black people kill sort of proportionally with everybody else. Like it's not like black people killing more than white people or black people killing more than Indian people. It's people kill, and that's an issue. But when you have sort of a hierarchy that's supposed to be in play, because between a person and a person, there's nobody's over anybody else. But if we're in a position of authority over another person, then the rules change. Like that's, you're operating differently, or you're supposed to operate differently. And that's the issue with the police killing black people versus like black people killing black people. I don't think they're the same, like even close to the same conversation. But they're both, you know, they're both right. Like they shouldn't be killing each other. That's you know, at the end of the day.
You're right. Should nobody be killing nobody, but they don't want to do anything about the guns. You know, they want to just let everybody have a gun, and it's like, okay, but you got the mental people that don't need to have guns. Y'all just, you know, when you taking away my First Amendment right, or whatever that amendment is, my Second Amendment right, okay, yeah, but anyway, I've never understood the NRA, and I don't understand none of them people, because all I know is we are a country of active shooters now all the time. And, you know, just like when the school shootings were going on, I said that generation of Sandy Hook and Columbine and all of those children, I said, what are they going to remember? We're the generation that had what? We had mass shooting. That's our generation. We're the generation that we had the school shooting. I mean, that's crazy. You know, even for Trey, you know, they practice that stuff. And they had a teacher. He is smart. You know how Trey is. He done figured out. He done narrowed it down to the 2 people. And the one person who he thought was the one that actually was the one that had it at school. That was, you know, qualified or allowed, or however you want to put it, to have the weapon at school in case something would happen. And I'm sitting there looking at him like, you done really figured that out? And I mean, he went through the logic of why it would be that person. And I'm like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
This is just crazy that you've done this, and they even have it where you have to get buzzed in, but you really can't. You can't really tell because the kids that come in, they not coming in, and you're not checking. They just coming in.
Mhm.
So who's to say? According to him, they did have a couple of interesting children with some issues.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And unfortunately, I think that's the thing we're going to continue to see.
Yep.
Time. I spent last night kind of getting caught up on some news stories and saw, the shooting in Miami, the shooting in San Jose, the just all of the numerous things that, before I can read about one, there were two more. And
Yep.
so
Right.
we're in such a place, and it's kind of why I love having times like these where we can talk about serious issues, but we can also laugh and just get some of the stress and pressure off. I think people are so laser focused on issues and problems that it's adding to the just the anger that you see in people, the aggression that you see in people. Like, I've never seen people drive as aggressively as they're driving. This
Oh my
man,
God.
he only had two wheels at a time on the road in his van. Oh my God, I pray there's no kids in here with him.
Right.
But dipping and dodging, the way he dipped past me, I assure you, I looked for my phone to see if we had like an Amber Alert or something, because surely he's kidnapped a child and was trying to get away. Because the way he went past, and it was so crazy. And then you get a chance to look at some of the statistics, and it shows, since the pandemic hit, and even now, the number of fatal accidents is up. The number of accidents, period, is up because people began recklessly while there was no traffic.
Mhm.
Now that the traffic is back, it's become a game. It's Grand Theft Auto all day on the highway.
Oh,
And I spent quite a bit of time on the highway yesterday because I had to go down to Eureka for an appointment with my mom. And it was like you would have thought we were at Six Flags and not on the highway to Six Flags, because people were just dipping and dodging so crazy.
Mhm.
Mm-mm.
that's true. That's true. It was a dude. I was on my way home from the laundromat tonight,
Yeah.
and the guy in the Honda van decided, and I was crazy. He decided that I don't know what he thought I was doing. I was in the right lane, and I'm just driving in the passing lane. And then he just decided, I guess it was supposed to be a game of to see how fast his car could go,
Uh-huh.
to see how fast his van could go. And I'm like, okay, well, the speed limit is 65, so I'm now doing 65. And he goes, zoom, zoom. And I'm thinking, sir, if I was a daredevil kind of crazy person, I would prove to you that this Toyota and the engine that it has in it goes up to 140 miles per hour. However, I'm not a NASCAR driver, and I don't like driving like that. I like watching them do that because that's what they do. But I don't know who you're racing against. And then he's having to put his brakes on because there's what is it, a pickup truck in front of him. And so then he's like this, and I'm like, why are you even doing all of that when it's not necessary? I'm not getting ready to race you. First of all, I don't know what's going on up here with Jeff City Police, because the other day they was riding up and down my street. One going this way, the other one coming this way, and they did that for 2 or 3 hours. And I'm like, so who y'all looking for? I mean, who you looking for? Who done got
Right.
away? Who
Right.
y'all trying to find? They not what they coming down Highway 50 over here where I am. Please let me know so I can go in my house. So while you out here doing this little crazy driving, sir, Jeff City Police is not happy because y'all running around here, y'all shooting people, and they trying to figure out why y'all shooting because they're not used to all the shooting that they got going on. And I'm being for real. They are really trying to figure out why y'all running around here shooting. What is this? Where did it come
Wow.
from? Like, I don't know, but you might want to just stop all this racing up and down the highway that you're doing because they out here.
Right.
You know,
Yep.
they seem to be a little bit stressed. I'm just saying the police seem to be a little bit stressed when I looked at them. Saw a couple of them. I said, "Ooh, y'all look a little bit stressed."
Yes,
Right.
it is much. Did you all see these people got stuck on this roller coaster out here in Texas the other day?
Nope. Ever since I got stuck on the Screaming Eagle all them years ago as a teenager, I don't fool with that one no more. I can't now anyway. But
Yeah, no. The last time I saw
But
somebody
I
get
was,
stuck on what was that? What's that? Six Flags. I think it was like the Boss or something like that at Six Flags.
no, they got stuck on
Somebody,
the
yeah,
side.
when we went to yeah,
they got stuck and had
and
to
they had
walk
to
the.
walk down. Did you see that?
Yeah, that was it. That was it
Yes,
for me.
that was awesome.
I never needed another roller coaster in my life after that moment.
When we got stuck, they threatened that we were gonna have because we got stuck at that high point, and they threatened that we would have to walk down. Like, whoo, no! I was praying. I was a teenager. I was praying. I was repenting. I was doing everything so that Joker could start, so we can get off of that. I was like, no. So then I stopped riding. I wouldn't ride that one anymore. And then I stopped riding the Ninja because it give you whiplash. I was like, okay, I can't ride this anymore. It's jerking your neck around. But when they
That
went
ride
and
was never fun. It was never fun.
It makes no
I
sense.
thought it was the first two times, but that third time when somebody got me, I said, this is not fun. I said, first of all, this is gonna make my neck hurt because I was like, wait, But I did like when they decided to fix the old roller coaster because that was always my favorite. When they decided to go and put it on that track, the original track, and they fixed it. Now that one I would ride all the time because they fixed it to where it was the way it used to be. I thought, oh, yeah, y'all should have been and put it back on this track, and it would go around and it make that dip going down before it come back in there to stop. So yeah, that was the only roller coaster I would ride then. I did the Boss one time, and I said I would never do that again because I said I'm hanging. I said we won't do this again. I'm hanging there.
No, I think I had one last experience at a roller coaster, and I think that was one. Once I rode the roller coaster a few times, and I didn't enjoy it afterwards. I was like, oh, okay, this wasn't even fun while it was happening. And then afterwards, I'm also, whatever high that is you're supposed to feel from, risking your life for 20 minutes. I didn't get it. So I'm like, no, I don't need to do this again. I'm good. I'm happy with y'all going and doing this, and I'll meet y'all afterwards. Yeah.
Yeah, I was a roller coaster loyalist. I loved it. All of them.
It has changed so much from what it used to be years and years ago when I was younger and when I was a little kid. Because I remember when we used to go through what was that thing where you sit down, you sit in the boat. We used to go through that, and we used to have just looking at what it does. What it is now to what it used to be. The ride used to be longer. I mean, it was all kind of stuff, and just watching how they've changed so much over the years, and especially I don't ride Thunder River anymore after them people drowned on it. I was like, now I don't know how the devil you drown on it, but nope. After the people drowned on it, I said, oh, that's not for me. I can't swim. Don't need to ride that no more. So I just thought,
I love roller coasters. But I think for me, the last visit when those folks had to walk down that down those
from the roller coaster.
Yeah, I was kind of done because me, I loved Mr. Freeze was my thing. Oh,
now they got Trey to go on that, and Trey was not a happy. I don't think Trey really liked Mr. Freeze. I have to ask him that tomorrow, but I don't think he really cared too much for Mr. Freeze. I don't think that was.
I loved it, but I turned it. The older I got, I turned into a punk. And I remember the last time I went, I was gonna ride Mr. Freeze, not because I wanted to, but we were with kids from the church, and I ain't no punk.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Right.
Because I do this. Okay, I do this. That Excalibur was one of my favorite rides. It just threw you everywhere. And then somewhere along the way, it dawned on me, you might be taking a chance. You probably shouldn't be doing this. You do have a child. You probably need to be more careful with your life. And so, and then the roller coasters started killing people. Because I don't know if you remember the young lady who lost her leg on the Superman. I think she lost the whole foot. Like, that's got to be a horrible way to end your day. You're out here for an exciting day at Six Flags.
You just finished funnel cake and you just finished your funnel cake and a turkey leg, and now you don't got a leg. It's terrible.
Look, I'm thinking the worst thing that could happen is you fool around and you get on Thunder River last at the end of the day and you're cold on your ride home. That used to be the worst thing that would happen. But these people are out here losing life and limb for rides.
And what about the lady that was, what was it when they had the wooden roller coaster that they had and the lady fell out and was dead?
Yeah.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, the roller coasters turned on people after. And then
after Final Destination came out, yeah.
Look, exactly.
That was the turn.
Look, and so we're at the park, but I ain't no punk.
Right.
I ride these. You know what? I'm gonna ride Mr. Freeze, and I remember Prophet. We were gonna ride, and I was in the car with Prophet. The whole time I'm praying, Lord, just carry us through, just carry us through, just carry us through. We got ready to go. We got in our seats, and he was too tall. On the inside, I'm going, thank you, Lord, you saved me. I didn't have to take it for these kids.
Because he was too tall.
I'm going, oh, man, I really wanted to ride. Well, if you can't ride, I ain't going to ride by myself. So, yeah, we'll just let them ride. The faces of the others are like, hold on, wait a minute. We riding because you were getting ready to ride. Oh, I mean, if you're scared, then, go a bunch of business. Everybody got off. Nobody wanted to ride. I was like, Tracy, you're a terrible influence. You're a terrible role model. Because these kids are about to ride a roller coaster they really didn't want to ride.
Right. I don't know. I have that same thing though. That whenever somebody challenges you to do something, that you have to you have no choice but to do it. Yeah, whatever that is.
Look,
I guess I don't got that.
Look, pre-COVID, back in the day, Brady, you remember our last Bible camp experience? Drank bug water. Why? Because I wasn't gonna let my cabin down. We're not losing to these bums.
We would have lost in the fun. I don't like bug water. I don't like bugs, period. I just would have lost. I'm sorry, y'all.
Yeah. And I remember the guy who I was partnered with, he was the other camp counselor, and he was a Marine. So he for real.
Yeah.
He's like, just drink the water. I'll eat the bugs. I was like, bet I got you.
You're right.
We were so dumb.
Yep.
Yeah, we
Miss
did a lot of
Tracy love the kids, though. Miss Tracy love the kids.
But even as a kid yourself, we used to play, and Sinbad ain't lying. We did play that game with the cards. I was like, we were such fools playing that game with the cards. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. That's just the nature of the game. And I'm like, God, we were so stupid to play games with cards when people were driving down the street. We were just stupid children. Stupid.
I was a slow child, so I never played that. So that was not my game.
Oh yeah, we used to play that game. I mean, just when I think of all the crazy stuff we would do as kids, and now kids don't know nothing about going outside and play. Because when we came home, even if it was on a Sunday, you didn't have no evening service. Your thing was you put on your play clothes and you went outside. Wasn't no sitting inside. You had to go outside. And now, because I be on tray like that in the store, I'm like, can you please put that phone down? What is it? You take the garbage out, you got the phone, and you're doing this. I said, you need to be paying attention to your surroundings. And you it's just amazing. It's just amazing. It's just amazing. I had to ask him at the graduation. I said, was you playing a game over there on your phone? He's like, no, I was reading the program. I said, yeah. I guess you were. I don't know. You might not have been playing. I was like, you could have played and wouldn't have gotten in trouble because the principal couldn't see you. That's the one day he wasn't gonna be able to see you because he was over here and you was over there. So he was gonna say, what's up, brother? With the yellow on sunshine.
That was it.
Sunshine. Oh, I'm sorry, that's the Clark Sisters. I like that song.
Y'all doing this?
That was my jam.
Yes,
yeah, bro. We're reminiscing about roller coaster rides, and Sonia apparently used to play in the streets. She was one of them kids.
I played in the street. I had cousins that lived in the city that played in the streets.
Yeah.
So I played in the streets.
Yeah.
See, and that was an experience I missed.
Oh,
yeah, that's like the time that one of my nephews, I'm not gonna say which one, where we started teaching him how to ride the bicycle in the alley. And we told him we was wrong for this. His stepbrother and I, we was so wrong for this. We was wrong. God, we was wrong. Lord, I thank you. You never let that come back on my child. We was wrong. We told him to take his glasses off, girl. He ran into the dump.
Look, nothing good happens outside. That's what I'm talking about.
Nothing.
Oh God, we were so wrong. We were so wrong.
When it comes to outdoors, I'm bad luck schlep rock. There were these apartments that we lived in down south, real small. And my dad bought a swing set, I think bigger than the apartment building. And finally, I go outside because I'm allergic to grass and dust. So I don't go outside that often. I'm outside playing on the swing set, minding my business. And this little girl and either her mom or her sister are walking one way. This guy is walking in the other direction, walking his dog. That dog had his way with everybody on the street. Remember, I was stunned because I'm stuck. Because I'm like, I can't scream because I don't think the dog sees me. I can't do it. I'm stuck. While these people out here in the middle of the street fighting this German Shepherd. So I never went back out there on this we said ever. We had a puppy, same apartments. Took him outside. We had him 5 hours. He just took off running down the street. Never saw our puppy. Nothing good happens outside.
Well, I forget the time that pit bull stole my jacket.
What?
No, you and animals have a weird relationship.
Oh, it was terrible. I was walking down the street with my favorite Sean John denim jacket. I had to take it out of my locker because it was the last day of school.
And that was your favorite.
Oh man, I wore it everywhere. And we were walking down the street, and this dog just ran up to me, snatched it out, and then took it back to his doghouse, and then just stood there. It was basically exactly. He's like, come get it. I'm like, hey, listen, that's your jacket now, big dog. You ain't even gotta worry about it. It's all good. It can get cold in there. I got you. It's all good. But then the worst part is then the little girl whose dog it was came out of the house and then just grabbed my jacket for me and then brought it back. I'm like, oh, well, this makes me look terrible. This little like 7 to 8 year old girl came back and was like, here's your jacket. I'm like, oh, this is like telling my friends to look away. I didn't hear about the end of that for a year.
Well,
Wow. Yeah, I remember that jacket too.
Your safety was more important than fight with that dog.
Yeah. No. I remember
Now,
even when
I like what you posted about what Venus said. She told the truth though.
Look, she
told the truth.
That is the statement that she made.
She told the truth. She was like, it don't matter what none of y'all say, because ain't none of y'all better than me. Ain't none of y'all gonna be.
I kind of love that. I love when like super successful people just like talk their mess. I think that's the greatest thing.
I mean, I liked it. I sat there, I read it twice. I said, she let y'all know. She don't care what you say. You ain't better than her.
I know. Every single person asking me a question can't play as well as I can and never will. So no matter what you say or what you write, you'll never light a candle to me. So that's how I deal with it. But each person deals with it differently. I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it because she said, I'm not intimidated by your questions because I can do what you do.
Yeah.
You can't do what I
well,
do.
And probably better, yeah. Because she's going to know way better questions to ask.
I can do what you do. Yeah. But what you can't do is do what I do. I love it. I love
that. That just brought enjoyment to me. That brought so much enjoyment.
Yeah.
I said,
and it's again. Yep. And again, I think it's testament to where we are now, where Black athletes, because when they came in, I remember the that one girl who, when they played, they wore the beads all the time.
Yes.
And they beat one of the beads.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Yes.
And I think she beat Venus. I think it was Venus because they never had anything for Serena. Yeah. And she came, had the bead, and she kind of flicked the bead like it was a flick. She had beat her, and it never happened again. As a matter of fact, I can't remember the name. That's how insignificant.
I can see the person. I can see them, but I can't remember their name. But I can see them.
Her name was Lindsay something. I think. All I know is her last big moment flicking that bead. Oh, here's your bead.
She didn't flick that no more.
Nothing.
She never got a chance to do that again.
Nothing. You come out here and try to show these girls up, and they're fantastic, and your little career dries up because you're not as fun
going on.
You're not as entertaining as you thought you were.
Well, it's the thing of like not recognizing like that person is driven by that. You do that, and that just sets them off to another level. Like you were better off just saying nothing. Because once you do that, you set something off in their brain, and they're like, "Oh, okay. Well, now I gotta beat the mess out of
you." Literally, should have picked that bead up and kept walking. Literally, should have said, "Oh, here, you lost your bead. Ain't about your business." But that flex netted you nothing. Because
I was like, don't worry, she ain't gonna flip that no more. Promise you she gonna do that no more.
Look, 20 years later, and it's not that you figured out how to beat her. It's great. Maybe great forever.
Forever. I know that people were giving Serena a hard time about not going over to I guess the Olympics or whatever it is. I think she is a mother. She's a mother now. She ain't gonna put her baby at risk to go over somewhere where y'all got COVID-19 running loose and wild. She's not going to do that. She's like, nope, I'm not going. the Olympics are, we're not gonna cancel it. We canceled it last year. We're not gonna cancel it, and we're just optimistic that they're gonna be safe. Y'all gonna go over there? All you little United States people that go over there, y'all gonna bring that mess back over here.
Well, mhm.
Y'all gonna shut us down again.
Hey,
I'm like,
you know, the American spirit will keep them safe.
yeah, okay. Mhm.
Right.
All right. I'm gonna let the American spirit keep them safe or whatever.
Yes. So I just say for those of you who pray, remember Miss Naomi, because she is fantastic. I love to watch her play.
Yeah, I did too. She was very good.
I
She was very good. She's very, very
yeah,
good.
yeah. I'm excited for there to be a continuation of just a good legacy. Because I remember the other young black girl, Sloane Stevens, and I don't know what it was about her that Serena just had a special dislike for this girl. And I remember the way she told her, "Don't even look at me."
I
You
was
know
like,
what? I feel like you're being a brat right now.
Right.
she was.
She was petty. She's
She
super
was.
petty.
I'm like, come on,
Yeah.
girl, why you gotta be petty? She beat you.
Yeah.
She beat you.
She's
You can't win them all. She beat you.
yeah.
Although now, you know, the fact that y'all put her at, now I was mad about that. Y'all put her all the way at the bottom. I said, but the girl done fought her way. She fighting her way back up. Of course, I don't see why you penalize women for having children. I don't understand that. Cause somebody had your little monkey in too, you know. So I'm just saying, you penalizing her because she decided to have a child, but somebody had to have you. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Just throwing it. Y'all know y'all president coming back, right? Did y'all hear the latest? Trump coming back in August, and they're gonna have a new inauguration, girl. He coming back in August.
Speaking of petty, look,
Right.
look. Speaking of petty, I got a I didn't get an email. I saw a news story, and I'm angry that nobody told me that Donald Trump had a whole website with a blog.
Oh,
I
he
didn't
knew?
know.
I didn't know that
Yes.
either.
Yes. And when I went over, they tried to get me to donate some money, and I refused to do that. But I did press play on the little promotional video.
Yes,
And when
ma'am.
I tell you, I don't know what king or petty got working on that website, but I screamed.
Oh,
Because there's a line in the video where they say Joe Biden's falling down on the job. And what footage do you think they had?
him tripping up the steps on the Air Force One.
Oh, that's so great.
My internet feed is acting up right now, but if it was working, it's worth seeing, because I thought, you know what? There's a sister or a brother somewhere that did that, because I don't know that our brothers and sisters flow quite that petty.
Oh,
When I tell you, I screeched with delight when I saw this commercial. It won't let me back it up. And I don't want to just look at him. I won't make you just look at him. I'll see if I can find it before we go.
I
But
mean,
if I can
he
find it
tripped up
before I
the
go.
steps on Air Force One. He holding on to the banister so he don't fall down that little ramp that he was going down when he was going to speak at the podium. I mean, so come on. I mean, either one, it don't look right for either one. I'm
Right.
just
Yeah.
saying. They both old.
Yes.
So.
Well, that's what I was about to say. They both about a year or two apart from each other. It's not like Biden is that much older.
Literally.
I don't care if
But
nobody say
yes,
my dude Bernie is my favorite meme. That's my favorite. I don't care what nobody say. That's my favorite meme. Bernie in them gloves.
Illegal immigration, killing good American jobs, proposing the biggest tax increase in history. Biden is falling down on the job. Allow our country to be destroyed.
now I'm not going to show the rest of it because I don't want to give him the view. But I felt there's a great level of petty going on over there. It's funny, but it's sad at the same time because these people really believe stuff.
They do.
That
is
is
the sad part.
It's a story scene to be in by August.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah. Who is that? That you talked about, Demetri? QAnon or whatever the people are.
QAnon or QAnon.
Yeah, they're the ones that's going with that.
Yeah.
Well, they said the same thing in March. It was like March 14th or something like that. Like they keep saying it every few months.
Yeah.
Unless they plan another insurrection.
Right. One that works this time, yeah.
And I wholeheartedly do believe they very well might be working on some things because you still have and you still hear ministers on TV at their churches talking about, Biden being a fake president. They're still taught it, that things were stolen and wasn't a legitimate election, and all of those different things are still being said out here. And it is amazing to me that it's not getting less, it's getting better. It's continuing down that path.
Yeah.
And that's the sad part, because what you're saying is that there's a group of Americans that their vote just don't count. And I take offense to that, for you to say that a particular group of people, their vote don't count because they didn't vote the way you wanted them to vote, then their vote don't count. While y'all running around here talking about, we're just trying to make it fair. No, what you're doing is you're trying to suppress the vote, and then you're trying to act like, I'm so tired of y'all acting like we some people. We are not dumb people. We are far from dumb people. So we know what you're doing, but you keep acting like we don't know. Like we some sheep that you leading to the slaughter. No, we're not. We get what you're doing, and you keep trying to say, well, we're not doing that. Yeah, you are doing that. It ain't Jim Crow, it's his cousin James.
Right.
You done went and found his cousin James, and you done decided that James should come along and do it. And the problem that you're having is you don't have the Malcolm and the Martins and the Rosas and the Edgars and Lewis. You don't have it. You got some new blood on the block, and they just not going for it. They're just not having it. So it's harder for you now than it was with my ancestors, because our young people are very woke people. They're very woke people. They may do some crazy stuff, but there are a lot of them that are very woke, and they're letting you know what they used to do. We ain't gonna do that. Because I already told people. Praise grown now, y'all take care of them. But I'm of the Malcolm X people. By any means necessary. I'm not going back. Ain't no master in me. Ain't none of no yes, sir. No yes, ain't none of that in me at all. It just ain't.
You ain't got a little field work in you.
No. Not a lick. Not a lick. Not a lick. So I'm one of them people. You gotta see me out there with the rest of the people, because I meant that if they did not do the right thing with the George Floyd, I was gonna help the people this time. I was gonna be a part of what the people was doing in the street. I'm just, because enough is enough. Yeah. It's like, how much more can you take? Enough is enough. So I'm just here to tell the people, if you talking about trying to take me back, that ain't gonna work for me. we gonna be in a world, we in a world of mess. But Trey's out of school now, and he got his little business, and he gonna be going to LU. So just send me a couple of cartons of cigarettes every month, and I'll be all right. Just saying. I'm just saying. I just feel that there are certain things that certain people were built for. I was not built for that. I know what Chandler's song says, but I was not built for that. My ancestors and them, they must have been built for that, because I wasn't built for that. I just wasn't built for that. I'd be like the lady on what is it, the help and that pie. That's all I'm gonna say. The help and the pie.
So say, what you say? I said.
That's the beauty of that's the beauty of it. Yeah, I have always, and I think in situations, a lot of times you have to laugh to keep from crying, because I assure you, I always said I would be the biggest snitch in the field. They would get me out. Now, so they running. Can I have some ice? I heard Demetrius and Sonia is down getting the people all riled up. Down for a little bit, my legs hurt.
But so wrong with you. But you know what's crazy about that? And like in the Nat Turner situation, didn't the boy that told him, didn't they do something to him?
Yep.
Like the one that reported that the slave was doing, didn't they kill him too?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that'll be like, you was in on it though, because you was there. Yeah.
What had happened was I was on my way to check on you were all right, ma'am. So I happened as I was passing here. I'm trying to leave us.
What's the dude? Samuel Jackson in Django?
Right. The way he screamed when that boy got shot. I remember laughing because he screamed like he got shot. Wow.
Plantation, I'm gonna be in the field. I can't get no. You messing up the church. You can't do that. No, I gotta keep it.
Yeah. Yeah. And it took my cousin Herman to get me together, because I always said, I wouldn't have worked in the fields. I worked in the house. And he said, well, here's the problem with that. You wouldn't have got to pick. That's the bad part. Is
in the house.
That's what makes it slavery, Tracy.
Right.
Your job. I was like, yeah, that's the part that sucks. This whole thing.
And I don't know why me and my friends were having a similar conversation about a week ago. And the reason why I know I wouldn't have been a great slave is as soon as they would have started whipping me, I would have just had more questions. Because as soon as I get the first whip, I'm like, if you stop doing this, I could do a little more work. Like I could be mad productive, but you keep hitting me and distracting me. Like if I could just focus, if you give me a good 30 minutes to focus in, I could knock out this whole. Yeah, I'm like, give me 30 minutes of just uninterrupted, just picking time, and I'll be great. But if you keep interrupting me, we just gonna take all day.
Right. Pop these iPods in.
Yeah. Yeah. Just let me get some music,
Yeah. Man. You ain't seen God. You ain't seen God. Quit micromanaging.
We can have a going like this. If you just
Yeah.
Right.
work with me.
Right.
See, your
You
business
know.
plan all out of whack. Yeah.
Right.
It's
See, this
doing right.
system is broken. Right. Right. This system is broken.
Let me talk to your supervisor. You
Let me
clearly don't
talk
know
to
what
you.
you're
Who's your boss? Who's your boss?
Let me talk to you
You
supervisor.
moving over here, right?
Right. Right. Right.
Every time I get over that focus tight rope across them scars, you know,
Right.
it's affecting me a little bit.
Sure.
You know? But that's like bring production down this week. What?
Look,
It's like, come on, what?
And you know,
we've been picking fine, and Mr. John then brought his whipped toe and tail over here. We was me not quoting. We was doing
He out here ruining your profit margins. You don't even know. See, if you came outside every once in a while, you would see.
You'll see.
I'll do it.
that was I guess that was the thing. The other reason why I made the post that I did after I saw the pictures that Mr. Brown had put up, and it just did something to me. It hit a nerve, and it's like I'm tired of y'all telling me. I'm tired of America telling me just get over it. I'm tired of hearing it. Quit telling me to get over it. I'm not going to just get over this because you won't even admit and take responsibility for what you've done. When you will admit and take responsibility for what you have done to us and to others,
but then
the healing start. But you won't do that.
But that would mean they would have to. You have to reparate.
Right.
That's why they don't want to acknowledge. Because acknowledging would mean now I gotta fix it. Because when we bombed Germany and did all that in France, we fixed it. Then in Japan, we went and fixed it. The Seminoles, we gave them casinos. We did something to fix it. So to me, acknowledging that mean, you know what I'm saying? Because if I acknowledge that, mean I gotta do something about it. And that's why we don't want to acknowledge, because we don't want to do nothing about it. Yeah, matter of fact, you know, the talk of recent months, you know, the whole whitewashing of American history, let's not teach it in that light. Why not? Why not? You know, and with this weekend being Tulsa, you know what I'm saying? It's and I don't know. It's just because, like you said, once September 11 come, you're gonna see never forget signs everywhere. You're gonna see never forget posts everywhere. Like we'll never forget, never forget. I mean, we didn't got our get back, so to speak. Bin Laden didn't got hit. But everybody supposed to be out by September 11th, so I don't know. But you know, still never forget posts. But every time we bring it up, it's like, why y'all still living in the past? Y'all is.
Right. Right.
And that's what my post. That is exactly what my post said. That is exactly what my post said. You know, you all keep trying to rewrite history. Quit trying to rewrite history. Don't rewrite my history. My history is what it is. It is what it is, and it is what you done. Because America, you wouldn't have it if it wasn't for us building it. Because you lazy bums sure didn't do nothing. And then they keep saying, well, it was just, if that was our ancestors. I don't care who it was. But it was my ancestors that you lynched from trees and that you killed. Like people get mad about the Star Spangled Banner. How about y'all? I dare you to sing the third stanza of the song. I dare you to sing it. I dare you to sing it. Sing that song around some black people. I want you to sing it, and you tell me how it worked out for you. I want you to sing it, talking about lynching and hanging people from trees. Oh, but you don't want to talk about that. Christian people don't want to talk about that either. The Christians don't want to talk about that either, because you know somebody that was a friend of mine. You know they defriended me on Facebook, right? You know she defriended me on Facebook when we had the thing about George Floyd and the answer that Miss Grace gave her, and I didn't say a word. I let Miss Grace handle it because Miss Grace went there very elegantly and handled it. Yeah, she did. She not my friend no more. I was like, but you say you a Christian. So what you telling me is you ain't really a Christian, because we should be able to disagree and still be okay. But apparently we are not. So it lets me know that yeah, we Christian as long as we ain't talking about y'all killing one of us, murdering one of us, then we not Christian no more. But the Bible talks about what my God did, what Jesus did, and he said, what you do to the least of these, you do unto me.
Yeah.
So while y'all running around here, y'all might want to go and sit down and read your Bible and ask the Lord to give you some true revelation and interpretation of the scriptures. Because the way you treat us, that's the way you treating him. But I guess y'all don't see it like that.
But ain't it real strange, you know? And like I said yesterday, you know, that's what bothers me about you know, our current state and where we're going, because so many of our people don't want nothing to do with God because what was done in His name by them. You know, they don't want nothing to do with God, not anything.
Yeah.
And I mean, you can show them that obviously, based on the book, you can tell they wasn't following the book, but there's things that they use particularly out of the book. You know what I'm saying? It was kind of strategic because Satan is, boy, that fella there subtold. The things he used is the things that they used.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, to justify what they did, and they took it from the book. But at the same time, we know there's too many passages in the book that shows that clearly they wasn't following the book. I mean, clearly they wasn't representing, you know, God. They couldn't be. There was no way possible. But with all the stuff being dug up now, man, and like I say, I joined groups on TikTok consistently, on Facebook consistently, and the stuff that they saying now, some of it is just and all right, bro, like you're reaching real good now, but some of it is like make you say, how can I combat? You know what I'm saying? Because somebody some decent, you know what I'm saying, some decent piece of information, and it's causing our people, like I say, my main thing is because it's causing people to not want anything to do with God, and because of what people who say they represent God done in His name. It's just bad, and it's getting worse with the information age. It's getting worse as more stuff come to light, and it's just bothers me. Then, you know, like this weekend, like I say, Tulsa, talk about Tulsa, and you know, people been talking about Tulsa for years now. I've seen Tulsa folks for years, like and like sis said last night, you know, Biden was like the first president in 100 years to even want to acknowledge it. That's all we had been looking for, was really acknowledgement that y'all did this. You know, we see all the footage. We see the footage. We didn't win and research, and we see the pictures, we seen the documentaries, but y'all won't even acknowledge, like, yeah, we did that. You know, Philadelphia, y'all want to acknowledge, yeah, we did that. We did that. Y'all want to acknowledge the stuff, and that's the problem we had, because y'all know as soon as y'all acknowledge it, there's going to be a requirement. Okay, well, we got to do something. It's going to fuel the talks of we got to do something now. And it's sad that many who still are Caucasian skin and say that they're Christian obviously are not still following the book.
Yeah.
And the crazy part is, because the flip side of that is making a lot of us bitter, or has made a lot of us bitter. You know, so that is the flip that rarely gets talked about. But it do get talked about. Why y'all so angry? Hello. Why are you so bitter? Hello. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't got a reason. You really want this list? You really want this list? You know, let me give you this pain. Do you really want this pain? Let me give it to you. But you know, it's just sad.
It's true. And I wonder if a lot of our sickness that we have in our community is because we're so angry and we're so bitter by the past of what has happened, that, you know, it's affecting us physically. You know, just listening to you, you know, talk about it, when you think about it, you know, all that anger and bitterness that we have, and it's been passed down, and the stuff that's still going on, and it just blows my mind to just to hear people that, you know, well, I'm a Christian, but I can't, we can't do that. What you mean you can't do that? What do you mean you can't do that? You can't do that because Ecclesiastes talks about that. What is that? Chapter 3. There's a time for everything. It
Yeah.
tells you that. There is a time for everything. So how can you say we can't do that? No, we can't be political. We can't do that. Why not?
Because we ain't do nothing wrong. That was them.
Right.
You
And
know,
that's
but I'm
literally
dealing with not even that, just we'll just use George Floyd, just with that one situation right there. All the other ones have been the same way, but that one was just so obvious, yet y'all just wanted to brush it under the rug like, well, we can't deal. Why not? Well, you can't be Christian and you can't be out there. Why not?
No.
Why not?
and for a lot of them, I'll venture to say they feel they've done nothing
Yeah.
and not realizing that benefiting from a bad system is a part of the bad system.
Mhm.
And your inability to recognize there is a difference. There is, you know, a lot of the things that we throw at Black people are consequences of the things that Black people have been through.
Yeah.
Talk about issues in health. Well, it's not accidental that hospitals aren't located in Black neighborhoods. It's not accidental when you think about how many years Black doctors were prohibited from attending universities to get quality medical educations.
Right.
Yeah.
And once they could go to those schools, the experience being so horrible. But the quality of healthcare in Black communities, there's still racism driving these situations. You
Yeah.
know, the conditions in our communities, still the result of racism. Where we give so much in tax dollars, this, that, and the other. I understand what you're doing, but what you're not understanding is we're still dealing in a broken situation.
Yep.
How many millions you pour, if it's broke, it's broken.
Yep.
And to
Yep.
not understand that a great deal of healing could come from simply saying, we shouldn't have done that.
Right.
And the new narrative is, we ain't do nothing.
Yep.
It's Adam all over again. This woman you gave me. Him. I ain't do that.
It wasn't me.
And just, yeah. And so Black people are just sick and crazy and unmotivated, don't want anything, don't want to do better, not realizing how many times do I fight a system that isn't working for me before I just try to figure out how to survive.
Yep.
And what I love is, you know, we are getting to a place where we do see more wealth moving around in the Black community, but I'm loving the entrepreneurial spirit. And I know people got people jacked up. Y'all had no business getting them people's money. And when they get you, I'm just say, don't ask for no GoFundMe. Don't do none of that stuff.
Yeah.
Get the people what you gave them. Just get them.
Yeah.
As I say, sign the payment agreement and go about your business.
Mm-hmm.
I love that there is a desire amongst people to try to find what their business is and work it. You know, work it. That our young people are you know, gaining skills where they can be independent contractors and not necessarily employers. Where I've got stake. I'm coming to you not just as an employee. I'm coming to you as an owner. I'm coming from a position of strength and power where I'm not just hung up on what it is that you're willing to give me as your employee, but I'm coming into this as a part of the structure. I love that that's happening. I love that is happening, because it's one of the changes that it's one of the ways for us to get where we're trying to go, but we're so far from that because the structure is still jacked up. It's still easier for those who've benefited from, I know Trump talked about it, I don't want to sound like Donald Trump, but from chain migration, where my cousins came over, they established a company. They don't even have to go to the bank to get a loan. Just go holler at Unc, because he's been here running his shop in the Black community, charging twice as much as you charge outside of the community. He's got enough that he can finance what I'm
Right.
trying to do. So I don't even have to go to the bank to get it.
Mhm.
And so there's so many ways
Well, you
where
think-
we've got to begin finding ways to keep our money in our community and to help our money work for us the way that other communities have. The problem is the loopholes get closed for us that don't get closed for us.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The loopholes, okay, this, I've seen some stories about some millionaires that, they're locking up over PPP loans. But I think that those repercussions are going to be devastating for some of these small Black people who were trying to start companies.
Right.
Literally were trying to do it legit. I'll get my books together later. I'll get my project. I'll get all of that together later. And later has come, and they just simply don't have things in order the way that they need to.
Mhm.
Understanding that when you're looking at people who've dealt with generational poverty, trying to learn how to do business, many of our businesses start out as hustles that got bigger.
Mhm.
I was just doing this on the side. I didn't even think about being a business until this happened.
Yeah.
This thing that was starting to gain some momentum, now I'm 10 steps back simply because I didn't have an accountant. I didn't have an attorney. I didn't have these things in place, and now I got to try to figure it out, or I'm going to end up locked up or with debt I can't afford to pay back. There's a side of that PPP loan story that I think it is the joke, but there's another side of it is for those people who really were legit trying to do the things that they were supposed to do. But people don't see the impact of racism and slavery on Black people, and we're just supposed to get over it. But I can't get over it because I'm still experiencing it.
Right.
I would
That's
love to get over slavery, but I'm still feeling the consequences of being the Black girl in the room while y'all are trying to figure out. When I went into management, there were 2 Black people in the room.
They it's funny because most of the people who have made it, sad to say, still has been entertainment. Well, music, movies, and sports. Most of the people that have made it still have been entertainment for them. So, and they say that's why we should be happy because look, they made it. Yeah, but they was your entertainment. That's why they made it. You profited from their music. That's just horrible to our community. That's why they made it. They dribbled the ball for you. They ran the ball for you, but they didn't make the money that you made, coach.
Nada. And we're not gonna talk about what you made while they couldn't get paid, while it was illegal to pay them. While they were really in slavery.
So we having to leave early because we trying to get a check because the situation's so bad here. You know what I'm saying? I thank God for colleges, like Miami that do let them come back. I don't know if all colleges do that. They should, but and let them finish if they don't get drafted. You know what I'm saying? Because they played. But yeah. It's just that and like you say, the hustles. It's been means of survival. been
Yeah.
means of legal, and we talking about it with the city here. There is a whole economics to the Black community
Hmm.
that can't be talked about because it's all illegal.
Right.
And but coming into the Black community, you actually need to understand that. But it can't be talked about because once you get light of it, you're gonna try and shut it all down. But
Exactly.
then you put them in another situation where by any means necessary.
Right.
And that's what we have always known. That's why some of these hustles have came the way they have came. And now that since you have created this vacuum, this environment, well, and me trying to do it through your system, I'm gonna meet all this red tape, blocks, hindrances, setbacks, denials. I might well technically just go ahead and get it out the mud, off the
Yeah.
porch,
Yeah.
out the yard, on the block, because I desire to do it legally because that's where NASCAR came from.
Right.
NASCAR came from bootlegging cars, trying to outrun the police, and
Yeah.
here we are now. I know why y'all love it so much. It's born out of rebellion. That's why y'all love it so much. But if anything we start like that, it's instantly no. I was just watching, just scrolling, and the story of Ludacris came up, and he was talking about when Pepsi cut him because Bill O'Reilly was talking about, hey, man, that degrades women and all that. But who did they replace him with? Ozzy Osbourne.
Ozzy Osbourne. Right.
And then when Russell Wilson spoke out, Russell Simmons spoke out, to get his ad back on. They like, nah, we gonna put his ad back on. We'll give him $1 million for 3 years. They wanted $5 million. They like, we'll give him $1 million for 3 years and then boom, let it go under the water. But how does that sit? But then they wonder why so many Black people want to start Black stuff. Like, when Suge, Jay Prince, and I forgot who the other person was. I don't know if it's Tony Drip or not, but they tried to start a Black distribution company. All of them called Fed.
Yeah.
All of them called Fed cases. You know what I'm saying? Because if y'all start this, this is a while back, but it's
wow.
When because people are mad about BET, but they bought that influence not nowhere near the same what it is. Though. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
Why you gotta have a Black award show? Because y'all weren't acknowledging the works and the accomplishments of the people over here. So they said, well, we'll acknowledge our own then. But that's a problem. That's still a problem. So, it's the same old song and dance. Either way, I watched the video today. They said, well, the women can't wear the bonnets. The women can't wear the weaves. The women can't wear the natural hair. All in the workplace. What are they to do then? You know what I'm saying? They can't wear the dreads. Nothing is acceptable that they do to y'all standards. Nothing we do is acceptable to y'all standards. So, you know what I'm saying? That's why we do have to go start our own over here. But then once we do, Judas and the Black Messiah all over again. We got to sabotage this some kind of way. And for America to keep acting like they don't see that, especially proclaiming to be a Christian nation, we know they're not, but proclaiming to be a Christian nation, it's horrible. It's really horrible. And especially for the people who we ain't gonna let you get parole because you want knowledge that you did this crime.
Right. Really? Yeah.
Yeah, I read that.
Yeah.
I read that.
Right.
Exactly. I read that foolishness right there.
When you gonna acknowledge this mess right here? You know what I'm saying? But you did not get parole. But because what if I am innocent though?
Right.
But I'm not willing to say that I did wrong. Because it's not people who went to the grave or did they whole time not willing to say they did wrong because they was innocent. But to you, it is what it is, and it's the black and Christian thing. America ain't ready for that. They ain't ready for that because we have became Christian now. In a way, that is supposed to have pacified us. Yeah, in a way, they have supposed to silence us now because hey, you're part of the fraternity now. You're part of, you know what I'm saying? you can't speak like that. You can't talk like that. Yeah, but you know, I know that he said, hold on, let's talk about why you gave me the slave Bible. Why you give me the
Come
whole
on. Yeah.
See now, because you telling me not to talk like that, but you gave me part of the truth. What's the problem with giving me the whole truth? What was so bad about giving me the whole truth? Because that means you kept something from me that will make me quote unquote equal with you. So you really ain't being Christian. You ain't even the definition of what you're trying to get me to be. So how can you be teaching me how to be a Christian when you ain't being one? You know, that's what we always say. And this country as a whole, that has been the story of our life. But now since we say that we identify as Christians, then we're not supposed to speak about injustice and all this stuff here. We're just supposed to just shuck and jive our way on up to glory. Just keep shucking and jiving up to glory. Don't seek no justice. Don't see that. Even though God hated an unjust weight, it's an abomination to Him. And I was watching TV the other night, and they had
You done rotated. Yeah,
just so much.
Yeah, well, while bro is unrotating, because he said something that I had written down, and it was the slave Bible, and it's one of those things that, like, when people really started to discover that was a real thing, it seemed like it should have been helpful on all sides, because, you know, for those Christianity's the white man's religion, they gave y'all what they wanted. That the slave Bible existed should be proof that no, they were not functioning in real Christianity. Here's the proof that it was fake. Here's the proof that it wasn't legit. That there is a legit Christianity out here, and this is what we're living now. The same token, it should have spoken to, you know, our white counterparts to say, look, y'all even changed the Bible to try to keep us in a place. You know, the American church, the hands are not clean. In all these years, we called these people our brothers and sisters in Christ. Meanwhile, this unrepentant sin of discrimination and racism has been out there, and it's time for change. It's time to do better. It's time to be better. And
I agree.
I think there's no better time than this. So, saying all of that to say, I want to encourage those of you who got a business idea, you got to hustle, and you trying to take it to the next level. I'm praying with you. Let's get together and talk about it. Let's see what we can do one for another. I'm trying to connect with my hustles and see what it is. The problem is I don't do anything well but run my mouth. So way to make that work. So that's why we're gonna be here every week. Right. Having these conversations, because this is what I do. This is my hustle. I love to talk, debate, have conversation, and I think that this is a good atmosphere and good environment to do it.
People don't like to do that though.
We can close out with the good news that
you're a millionaire.
Well, not quite, but President Joe Biden, in partnership with AB Beverages, to meet the quota of having 70% of the country with at least one vaccine shot. Beer on everybody, a drink on them.
Well, all right then. I guess I need to go get a part of that and take it up to 72%.
Well, you gotta go to a bar and take a picture though.
Oh, I don't want no drink.
You have to go to a bar and take a picture with your favorite drink and enter to get your free beverage.
I ain't gonna do all that. I ain't gonna do all of that. I'm just gonna let him get his, I'm just gonna, let him get his little quota up a little bit more. So me and mine will go and get our first little vaccine so we can add to his little quota of people that has been vaccinated.
You're right, bro.
So I can do that much for him. I can help his little quota go up a little bit on the vaccinated folks.
Right. You get somebody a free beer, yeah.
Right. Here's a free beer for you if we can get up to 70%.
So I help the little people get up to the 70% so they can get their little birds. I take me and mine, dragging and kicking and screaming into the little Walgreens and let them put the little shot, give us the little shot.
Yeah.
I gotta read our policy though and see how many days I get to have off.
18 hours.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I made the mistake of just taking one day. 18 hours if you're dealing with side effects, up to 18 hours. But yeah. So yeah, that's that thing. But bro, I think that what you were talking about was right on, and it even made, as while you were gone, just thinking about that slave Bible and just how that should have been a point of freedom for all parties involved to be able to say, hey, no, they were trying to shuck and jive us and they wanted us slave Bible saved. But to quote Larry Reed, they didn't know we were going to be paper Bible saved.
Amen.
And get that whole word.
Amen.
The discovery that they played with the word should have helped convince our brothers. If they were convincible, it should have helped convince our brothers, yeah, there was a game being played.
Right.
But even more of it. And now that things are opened up and it's not just tied to the elites anymore, it's not just the priest who can have the word. There's some other books out here. They're good for information. We're not including them with these, but they're good for information, good for history. You have access to the full everything that people have said about this thing.
Yeah.
And then for our white counterparts, it should have showed them, you know what, there have been some shenanigans played, and we need to own up that people that we were live out here walking around in unrepentant sin, holding slaves, doing those things. No, Abe Lincoln wasn't really concerned about the slaves. He was concerned about his country. We just can't, for some reason, it's a strong delusion, sir. It is what it is. Is America's fine because I didn't own any slaves.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
because it's gonna be real funny. It's gonna be real funny. I'm gonna go and say it, that the love they have for Israel is the love that they're supposed to have for Israel.
You are correct.
and Israel, the way Israel talks about that a little bit, they probably need to talk about that a little more. But the love that they have for Israel, they're supposed to have for Israel.
Yeah.
But
and if you be jacked up that they're gonna miss their blessing. It's colored. That's the gag in it all.
It's just you can't make this up. This can't be made up. This can't be made up. This is better than reality TV, man. It's and like I say about my brothers, they was out today, and you know what I'm saying, and the IUIC here are starting to announce that they're not part of any other group before they start. They teach us they don't condone violence, so they got an announcement that they do here. But you know what I'm saying, but it's like real interesting that all this stuff people are digging up. You know what I'm saying? all this stuff. It's like my friend. My friend, I got a friend who he's fighting the system, the whole system. It started with child support and but he's now on the system, but he's doing some things, I guess, dealing with sovereign citizenship and in that arena. But my thing to him was, after he was explaining to me, I'm like, well, if the government didn't have on file these forms to file, there wouldn't be a truism to it. But the fact that some of these forms are on file to file, they fight y'all tooth and nail, but the forms are there for you to go get. So the government got these files, so there is some kind of truism to what y'all doing. Now they don't want to let the cat out of the bag. That's why they fighting y'all from doing it. All the sovereign citizens, all the people who say that they're Moors, and so because if everybody start doing that, they machine lose some cogs. But it's like all this stuff people are finding, books and writings and pictures, and but America just still refuses to acknowledge its full wrongdoing. Matter of fact, once again, history is written by the victors. We still trying to rewrite. Jesus.
Yeah, it's what's happening.
It is what it is.
It's what's happening. That Kenny Loggins white Jesus. He gonna make it.
They trying to rewrite history continuously, and I am one of the ones. It's not like a Malcolm X spirit, but it's like, man, how long are we supposed to be quiet? Yeah, we Christian, bro. We believe in the same God by speech, I guess, because ain't it funny how we the black people, can I say it like that? Are more close to the tenets of the faith than y'all were while y'all was doing what y'all was doing. But y'all claim to be the one who told us and the one who said that y'all a Christian nation, but for us, the tenets of the faith, can't tell. But then when we speak, just because we speak on it, we wrong. We can't even speak on the wrong that was done to us, because we racist if we speak on the wrong that was done to us, and that has kept a lot of us quiet. That's kept a lot because it's wrong to speak on it. Like, don't even discuss it. Silence, bro. But it was done to me, bro. But you want me to talk about all the family issues I got? You know what I'm saying? But guess what? This is an issue I got too. This is an issue, and me being Christian didn't solve it.
But you better wave your flag, sing this anthem, stand up when we tell you.
Oh,
Jesus! Flag on it.
Oh, don't even talk about that, because me coming into the flag now supposed to erase everything. You one of us now. So you're supposed to, once all the hazing I did for you to join the fraternity is supposed to be overlooked now.
But hey, all that beating and lynching.
Hey, and it's crazy, but that's how it really. Now that I think about it, that's how it really supposed to work. All this hazing I done to you to join the fraternity is supposed to be accepted as part of the process of joining the fraternity now. Yeah. But I'm like, no. All is not well. All is not forgiving. Y'all, because y'all still doing it. And I'm man, now Lord, are we past the 70 times 70?
Look, in the words of the oppressor. Look, in the words of the oppressor, look, we brought you here, we saved you from savagery. You were hurting people, you were over there worshiping the devil. We brought you over here and got you saved. What else you want? We gave you. What else you want?
I want what you said I can have.
That's everything in the Constitution. That's really it.
That's what I want.
Oh, you mean your 40 acres and a mule?
No, not that. The pursuit, life, everything. What
all
that. I want all that.
Earth.
Yeah, all that before you make me 3/5 human.
That's all I want. Can I have my
reinstate me to be on level playing field with you. We all human, you know, because that's what y'all say. All souls matter, all lives matter, you know. That's what y'all say when somebody say black lives, you know. So well, let's make it even across the board then. Let's get rid of the redlining that you done, and you know, let's take the color off the application, because some applications go to the left when as soon as they see that, you know what I'm saying, and then you automatically flip to see that they put any explanation of why they caught these charges that they caught, and then you just set the application to the side. Because I find it funny, like I gotta explain the charges I caught back in 1996. For real, you know how long ago that was? You want to know why I went to prison both times? What that got to do with me flipping these burgers over here? What they got with me laying this sod over here? Ain't got nothing to do with me laying this sod over here. You know what I'm saying? But you know, but that's what you want me to explain, and then. Not to mention that computer test. Oh my goodness. I got to get back talking about that computer test that they give you. That Target gives you. I don't know if they still do it, but Target used to give it, Burger King used to give it, McDonald's used to give it. It's like a basically like an IQ test where they ask you 90 questions, but it's really 30 questions asked 3 different ways.
Family Dollar does it.
Oh, Family Dollar still do it? Yeah.
Yes. They did. They did at least a year ago.
Yeah, that test eliminated a lot of people. I used to talk about it. I got to start talking about that test again. I got to see what that test is called, because yeah, that test eliminated a lot of people. And it got to be specifically aimed at us. Ain't no ifs, ands, buts about it. But then they'll say, well, no, this stuff wasn't aimed at us. Yes, it was. It aimed at a demographic. Yes, it is. If some of them just happen to get caught up in it, so be it. They should have, you know, maybe they should have grew up in the suburbs and not the trailer park. That's their attitude. Well, we know some of us gonna get caught up in it. Casualties of war.
Yeah.
Collateral damage. That's the word. Collateral damage. Go ahead.
You outside?
Yeah, I gotta run. Gotta get a little more work done before I go to sleep.
All right, bro.
Good talking with y'all.
Yeah.
All right.
For sure.
Yeah.
Talk to y'all later.
Yeah.
And it's just my thing. I just pray that when people come across these broadcasts and they check it out.
Okay. Have a good night.
What time is it? It's 1:11. Yeah.
I'm only going because I got to answer phones tomorrow, so I must be somewhat coherent tomorrow.
Yes, well. Well, have a good night.
Thank you. You are too.
All right, sis.
Right. But you're right.
I just pray that when people come across the broadcast, that is open-minded as they ask us to be, that they be the same and listen, and then see if the complaints that we are making are legitimate. And upon seeing that they are, then say, well, how can I help them make this better? How can I help them make this right? How can I help rectify the situation? You know, whatever. We can't give reparations, but what can I do to make the relationship between us and them better? Right. Because we know we got denominations that don't get along. So we know it's Christians that don't get along. So us just being Christians don't do it. But how can I make, because that's what I'm saying. We'll say that there is no race problem, but race relations is a topic every year.
Every year.
Now, how can I make, if I can't change the world, how can I start in my town? How can I start on my side of town, in my community? Let me start right there. And then, I ain't gonna try and change the world right now, but I'm gonna try and change my community and their thought process. And let's acknowledge, now we ain't got to go do no bootlicking like in New York, but we can try and make this better by acknowledging and then trying to change policies. Like a town of Monticello, it's still closed down Thursday at 12 o'clock. The whole city, and we know what happened. We know what happened Thursday at 12 o'clock. So the town, you know, that kind of stuff still goes down. There are still sundown towns.
Yeah, you're right.
You know what I'm saying? It's in 2020, 2021, there are still sundown towns. May not be as vicious as it used to be, but it's still, the people walk with a fear.
Yeah.
Of not trying to get caught up in just a happenstance. You know, it's just like, and I gotta keep saying, being Christian didn't fix it. Joining y'all didn't fix it. You know, adhering to the tenets of the faith that you told us to do. Didn't make us equal yet or still with that what you said it would be like. But that didn't happen. That didn't happen. And if we talk about it, we consider it wrong and racist and hateful. Because we won't comply to the abuse.
Right.
You know, so
yeah, comply to it, totally ignore it. It's really crazy. And I think in so many instances, it would be wonderful to even get to the place of I'm not responsible for that. I don't agree with how you feel about it, but I can acknowledge that what you feel is legitimate.
Yeah, something like that.
Real, something that you've gone through. Because I hear people telling me we need to get over things, but there's some things that are so critical. You know, I think even, you know, the school where I went to college, University of Missouri, Lloyd Gaines is, you know, we talk about him. He was the first Black student to gain admission to the law school.
Okay.
But it stops at gaining admission because he never got to attend one day. He disappeared before he was able to attend class. And that's not ancient history.
No.
You know, there's too many things that are current history that are currently happening. I mean, our political system got turned upside down. Yeah, we got a Black president. But our entire political system broke down in response to that.
Right.
We elected a reality star to be president.
Yeah.
Because he was adversary to that Black president.
Right.
And he was the only one of you all not afraid to come out and boldly say, he's not one of us.
Yeah.
He's one of those Africans.
Yeah.
He's not one of us. And because he was not afraid to say that, they're still looking to him to be savior. He can't, he can't, lost the election and he can't die. He can't go away.
Nope. Oh, man.
And so, yeah. But I think that you hit it on target. It really is. We're probably never going to change the stink that's on America, because I think the Lord is soon to come. I don't think we're going to fix that. But what we can do is fix our environment. You know, the people that I have connection with, the people that I can contact and connect with. But those are some of the folks who they will disconnect with you rather than hear you out.
Right.
I'm unfriending you.
Click.
Well, it doesn't make what I said untrue.
No. That just means they ain't got to hear it.
Exactly. And it just means the opportunity that you had to get right and get better, you're rejecting it. So I'm not going to chase you down. I'm not going to try to figure out why you're gone. I'm just going to say I'm shaking the dust off my feet and moving on. Because just perhaps there are some people out who just want to understand. It's not that they're totally against Black people. They just don't understand where we're coming from.
Right.
And I think that there are so many people out there that are like that are able to understand. No, this is what we're saying. We don't hate white people. No. We hate racism.
Right.
We hate consequences that we're experiencing.
Right.
We're not asking for anything free. We've got to reframe that conversation, because that's what reparations has been turned into. Is Black people just want something for free. And it's no. We want the wages we were not paid.
Yeah.
We want the earnings that we never got.
The land that was stolen.
Real work was done.
Yep.
Real lives were taken.
Inventions.
Yeah. And so it's not just Black people wanting something for free. It is literally, this has been earned, and your debt doesn't go away because the people who were actually slaves finally died.
So why does the current era has to pay for the past? That's the biggest question I hear. Why do the current era have to pay for the past era's mistakes? For one, you're still profiting from it.
That's it.
You're still profiting from it. Matter of fact, some of the people that are in places and situations, you know, we easily and instantly always bring up Henrietta Lacks. You know, all the stuff that have been, all the people that have profited from what was taken from her and done to her, and not her family. Her family has not benefited from that in any kind of way. That kind of stuff. Patents that were stolen, inventions that were stolen, land that was stolen. You know what I'm saying? Not, you know, you talk about Black Wall Street when they did do good, when they did separate and, you know, try and build up their own and did build up their own. That was too good for you. You know, well, too good for them. Then I say them, and look what they did. Now, look what generational wealth that could have created. Because Tulsa, you know, I mean, I see it on the first 48. I'm gonna tell you where I see it at. But you know, it got to be a booming city because they've been there a bunch of seasons, and I ain't saying that in a good way, but I'm just saying it's a lot going on there. Tulsa, Oklahoma. I mean, the bombing was there, so you know, I'd have had visuals of the city. It ain't been a good light visuals of the city over the years. So, but if that could have continued to thrive in itself, Greenwood, Greenbrier, whatever it was, if that could have continued to thrive in more places like that, because that's not the only place like that happened. It's a place in North Carolina, I think the same thing happened to. So, you know,
happened right here in East St. Louis.
In St. Louis? And see,
St. Louis. Yep.
The one that's getting all the light though is Tulsa. But like you say, now it's other places that this happened to where blacks were separated and prospering, that they could have built the generational wealth. They could have built, you know what I'm saying, what we see our counterparts have. But it was taken from them because they just couldn't see them being equal with them. And whether a lot of y'all openly show it or subconsciously show it, you're carrying a lot of the same mentality subconsciously, and it comes out in your actions. It come out, and you know what I'm saying. And it might be because, oh, I got a natural fear because all I see of black people is thugs, robbers, killers, you know, something for nothings, and then because even some black people I have heard differentiate between niggas and black people. You know what I'm saying? Niggas are the slums, the ghetto, the hood. Black people are, you know, the suburbs, the people that, you know what I'm saying? I've heard black people say that. And I can understand the concept, but you know what I'm saying? But if everybody's going to be treated equal, then we got to start treating everybody equal. And that is just not being done, and pretty much won't probably be done here. No justice and stuff will fully come here until Christ come. Getting people to accept and understand that is hard because a lot of them don't believe in Christ. A lot of them think revolution got to take place, but that won't work out well. Depending on the weapons they got, you know what I'm saying, and how the fact that they can turn off electricity and water and, you know what I'm saying, and all that there, and food supply, and you know that won't work out very well. But I just pray that, like I said, when people of the opposite races, you know, come across this kind of talk, that it ain't a turn off. It ain't it's okay. Sit down and listen to what I'm saying. Once again, listen to what I'm saying. See where I'm coming from. Yeah, we had a black president. Y'all didn't like him at all.
Not at all.
So you can't keep throwing that up. Y'all didn't like him at all. You really don't like Kamala. You don't like her either, technically, because y'all feel like if anything happened to Biden, then she'll be president. So you don't really like her. You know, you like that she was tough on crime. You want her to be that again. You know, she's kind of silent now technically, but anyways, it's just like anything black. Y'all call Michelle a gorilla in heels, and people was applauding that.
Sure did.
But any disrespect of Trump was like, he's still your president. You need to respect him. Well, y'all the same people that just like 8 years, for a whole 8 years, just never mind. And it's just that's what frustrates black people. Because often America doesn't practice what it preach. Often, but requires everyone else to do so. And being Christian and talk about it, I'll say without a platform like this is difficult, because to get a bunch of Christian people until it's a commemorative event. If it's not a commemorative event, we won't talk about it. During a commemorative event, now we want to talk about it. But any other time, no, let's leave it at let sleeping dogs lie. We don't want to kick up ruffle those feathers. No, let's let sleeping dogs lie. But feathers are already ruffled.
Yep.
Can't you see all the dust in the chicken yard?
Come on. Yes.
Feathers already ruffled. Why you think they clucking the way they clucking? You know, feathers already ruffled. You know, and it's just, I just pray for those that come across this video, you know what I'm saying? We get people that unfriend us all the time. Jesus said, hey, they did it to me, they do it to you. A lot of people stop following him. He said, if they hear me, though, they'll hear you. So that's where I stand come from, that if you hear him, then prayerfully you'll hear us too. And by hearing, you'll try and understand, because he said, in all you're getting, get an understanding. Don't just say, oh, there's another bitter black person. Oh, there's another prejudiced, racist, white person. Reverse racism, no. Hopefully by listening, you'll seek to understand. And by understanding, by seeking that understanding, then you'll get it, and you'll get to the root of things. And you'll see that there is a reason for people to be the way that they are. And they don't want to be that way. And they actually hate that they have to continue to be that way. And why I say they have to continue to be that way, because nothing is changing or lasting when it changes. Or band-aided to just quiet the masses and pacify the masses. And to be not taken serious is a problem. And that's why so much distrust of government and all this stuff. This is why. You know what I'm saying? And once you seek to understand that, and then say that, and if you only leave it with saying this, you can say, well, their reason is not right. I don't like the way they're doing it. But if you what you should leave with, you probably, and if you really seek understanding, you will leave with say, well, they do got a reason though. And if you at least reach that, I think you'll change.
Yep.
I think you will change. I think you'll start trying to change if you say, well, they do got a reason. I might like the way they going about it, but they do got cause. There is a cause for them to be that way. And I believe if you sit down and search yourself and search your soul, search our history, you'll get there. And by getting there, you'll seek God. If you're really a believer, really of faith, and really searching God, you'll seek, Lord, what is it can I do?
Yeah.
All of whatever it be. It might be just with my neighbor that I really don't talk to, because I think that his son come home with the loud music all the time. So I think they're the typical black family.
Right.
You know? But it might be starting right there, just right there. So, you know, just start. Just seek God. All you're getting, get understanding. And God will start doing the rest. He'll start doing the rest.
Amen. And I believe the scriptures support that approach. And we're getting around the 12:30 our time, so I know 1:30 your time.
1:30.
Yeah, I'm a night watchman. I can do this all night.
All night.
I can do this all night. But so that we can go ahead and close, I think that's an excellent point to close out this portion of the conversation about, because we'll be back. You know, we're gonna keep talking about these things and more, because I think it's necessary. But when it comes down to us pursuing racial reconciliation and hearing people say, you know, what's the big deal? What's the big deal? I believe the scriptures would support that as long as I have an issue with you or you have an issue with me, we've not reconciled ourselves unto God until we reconciled one to another. Matthew 5:22 says, "But I say to you that everyone who is angry with his brother shall be before the court." That goes both ways. And whoever says to his brother, "You good for nothing," shall be guilty before the Supreme Court. Reading from the American Standard. And whoever says, "You fool," shall be guilty enough to go into the fiery hell. Serious that brethren don't belong. Serious that we have these race issues and we're calling ourselves brothers and sisters in Christ. It goes on to say, "Therefore, if you are presenting your offering at the altar and there remember that your brother has something against you." Again, good, but my brother had an issue with me. My instructions in red letters: leave your offering there before and go. First, be reconciled to your brother and come and present your offering. If we were to apply that to the racial unrest in America, we're wondering why we're not seeing the move of God that we want to see in the American church. It might be there.
Right there.
We wonder why we're not seeing the signs and miracles, some miracle signs and wonders that we see in other countries, why that's not manifesting in the American church. Might be right there.
Right there.
Yep. Is we're trying to have conversation with the Father, and He's going to get right with your brother.
Yeah.
Verse 26, verse 25 says, "Make friends quickly with your opponent at law while you are with him on the way, so that your opponent may not hand you over to the judge and the judge to the officer, and you be thrown into prison. Truly, I say to you, you will not come out of there until you have paid up the last cent." Is reparation answer? Not by itself. Is acknowledging the answer? Not by itself.
No.
Until every last cent has been reconciled, it ain't even.
No.
And our job is to strive to make it even. So I hope that those who come across this video really do take to heart that our desire isn't separation. Our desire isn't the frustration, the anger, and the fighting. Our desire is that we would be one in Christ. That's what was for us, that we would be one. And so I implore anybody who runs across this video, you got some questions, inbox. Send us an inbox. You want to come on? We might be totally wrong. Come help us get together.
Come on.
Come help us understand where we're wrong and where we're missing your point. Because I know you watch. I know you watch. I watch at least portions. So let's talk. Let's be the builders and the repairers of the breach if we must. So you all for your time today. Until the Lord brings us back again to this place.
Amen.
That you are prospering and enjoying good health even as your soul prospers. Have a blessed evening. Good night.
Amen. Good night, sis.
Good night.
All right.